It feels like I'd been in this car for days. I looked out my rearview mirror at the hot ripples of road haze gleaming behind me on Route 66. I sighed lightly as I sipped lukewarm water from a crusty water bottle. Some road trip, I muttered angrily, staring at the empty, worn velvet cushion in the passenger seat beside me. This shitty Trans Am is all I have left of my old man. The loser left when I was 14, and I haven't seen the bastard since. He walked out on my mom one day, saying he had some errands to run, and never returned. Mom, on the other hand, didn't take it so well. She developed a bit of a drinking problem since his abrupt departure. I'm Kevin Ronnerbaum, 21-year-old Nevadan. And no, I know what you were thinking, I'm from Vegas, hell, I wish. I'm actually from a small town called Borax. Yeah, I know, it doesn't sound pleasant, but it's home. My life has been a shit show, and not to mention I'm a two-time loser. I can't hold a relationship for shit. My girl literally dumped my ass 2 nights before this trip, and my previous girlfriend said she found someone else out of the blue. Now, here I am, driving cross-country from Nevada to Yermo, California, to interview with Whiskey's, a liquor refinery. I'm finally leaving that box of a room and my twin bed and trying to make a life for myself. Things look hopeful. I still worry about my mom, though. Her addiction held me back for far too long. At first, I was responsible, doting even, then resentment began to settle in. Every time I looked at my mom, I wanted to punch her. Her drinking got so bad she fell in the house numerous times. I was always there to clean her ass up and help her dry out. She would be sober for a day or two, then, like clockwork, back on her bottle like a starving baby. God, she makes me sick. I wish I could have chosen my parents. I used to sit for hours and play this game of designing my dream parents for days on end. It was fun for me, thinking about who I would have had as parents. Sometimes, I thought of famous movie stars like Madonna or Sean Penn, or fictitious parents on TV like the Bradys, the Arnolds, or the Ewings. I'd like a nice family, but boy, I would have wanted to be in Dallas, living a charmed life. Having JR as my father would have been rad. It took me a while to finally get my shit together and not go down the same path as my alcoholic mom or deadbeat dad. I want to make my own way, I want a great job, a house, a good woman, and a family. Yes, it's a lot to think about at 21, but I love the idea of having people around who love me. Damn, where are my smokes? Tapping my pockets ferociously, I finally found my cigarettes in my jean jacket. I put one in my mouth and lit it, inhaling like a fiend. The nicotine hit my soul, and all was okay again. I was running low on water, and driving across the desert in this sweltering heat is a bitch. I couldn't take being in this oven, so I desperately pulled into a lone gas station. The gas station was a bit rundown with chipped paint and a damaged sign hung crookedly on its perch. Hell, yeah. I rejoiced when I entered the convenience store, and the air conditioner hit me in the face. I didn't want to leave. I lingered around a bit. I went shopping, but I didn't want to stay too long. I needed to make it to at least Baker by nightfall. Grabbing some chips, gum, candy, smokes, and a few bottles of water, I dumped all the crap on the counter. The cashier, a petite blonde, let out a low snarl and popped her gum. God, I hate that. She went from an 8 to a 4 really quick. That'll be $4.03, she said, sizing me up from head to toe. I pulled out a few crumpled dollars from my pocket and some loose change. Like this is $3.17. You don't have enough. She snapped. What a rude bitch. I mean, come on. Let me slide. It is close enough. Look, can you comp me one? I'll owe you on my way back. I need the rest of my dough for gas. No, you are just going to have to put something back. This isn't a charity, bud. She peered over the counter, almost disgusted. That look, I know that look. That is the look I have given my mother for the past 7 years. Listen, I really need all this stuff, okay? I promise I'll pay you back. No, either put something back or leave. I will call the cops, I swear. Jesus, alright. Take out the bags of chips, and this too. This is so bogus. I was left with a candy bar, water, and, of course, my cigarettes. I paid the hag and walked out. I started my car and peeled out of there, making a dramatic donut, my engine roaring as I kicked up some scattered sand exiting the lot. That girl was so lame. She could have easily given me a break. Sulking, I reached for the candy bar. Shit. Yup, that's exactly what it looked like. I drove for a few more hours as day slowly turned into night. I saw the sign "Welcome to California." And it felt good. I gotta say, though, the sunset is pretty damn beautiful. I felt at ease that the next town over in Baker was the location of my interview. The job itself was pretty much in the bag. I spoke to Mr. Johns on the phone. He and my uncle are longtime friends. He wanted to meet me, and the plan was to stay at my Uncle Rick's house for 2 months until I could save up and get a place of my own. The rent there was affordable, and it was far away from my needy mother. I jumped at the chance, and now, I could finally get myself together. I knocked back one of the bottled waters, lit a cigarette, quickly turned on the radio, and blasted some rock. This was my lucky night. My song was playing, Billy Idol is so badass. I'm rocking out in my seat, air guitar and all, and I thought I heard a noise. My engine sputtered. Fuck, no. It sputtered some more. Then I saw the smoke. The radio faded in and out, and static filled the car. I turned the insufferable thing off and slammed my hands angrily on the wheel. Come on, Cecile, don't do this to me, baby. I pleaded with my car until it gave out. I got out and began to steer her on neutral. The air was getting cooler. That was a plus. I pulled into an open area. The long stretch of desert on both sides. I decided I would have to hitch to the next town in the morning. Not one car was on the lonely road that stood between me and my new life. I leaned against my car. The dark was frightening. Thank God my lights still worked. I put on my hazards and hoped someone would happen by. I soon fell asleep. The windows were halfway up. It got colder. I grabbed my jacket, shivering a bit. It's crazy that I could have cooked eggs in this car earlier. Now I can refrigerate them, too. The road was still barren. I tried my chances and started Cecile. She crackled a bit but started. I was back in business. I took off for a few miles, and she gave out. I began to get belligerent again, but I noticed a hotel several feet away. Cecile got me there and then completely died. The battery was done for. I saw many cars out front of the old hotel and was happy that I didn't have to sleep in my car. Instead, I will see if I could hang out in the lobby and catch some ZZZS. I would try to reach out to my uncle in the morning. The hotel was nice. It had mesa, Spanish-inspired fixtures, and a terracotta walkway. I only know this is terracotta because my dad used to be a bricklayer, and he brought me along on many service visits. I looked at the palm trees swaying in the wind, then up at the sign. Hotel California was written in brown cursive with a bit of gold tint. I walked into the lobby through the breezeway and playfully rang the bell. Maybe they are in the back. I stood for a while, and no one answered. Annoyed, I walked over to take a seat on the plush sofa. The trickling water of the fountain was soothing. I soon dozed off until I felt a hand on my shoulder. Preparing myself for my immediate departure because I was breaking some rules, I woke up and reached for my jacket. I rubbed my eyes and saw this beautiful Mexican woman. She was in her late 20s with a body to die for. I mean, I would die for this girl. She was bodacious. Can I help you? Her words were silky, seductive even. Was she trying to seduce me? Because, dude, it was working. Hello, beautiful, what's your name? I belted. It sounded so dorky out loud but smooth as shit in my head. Ileana, muchacho. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you, too. What brings you here? Looking to stay? There is plenty of room here. No, I can't afford to stay. My car broke down. I wanted to know if I could use your phone. Our phone lines are down. I'm sorry. A dust storm blew through and tore the line. That's a bummer, I added, peering around the place. Everything was neat and clean, and it was quiet. I looked at my Casio digital watch. It was only 8:15 p.m. Where is everybody? They are possibly out back tonight drinking and dancing. We are having a party. It's luau themed. Really, what time does that start? Now, actually. Ileana paused. Listen. Like clockwork, right after she uttered those words, the music began to play, and I heard laughter coming from the patio. Shall we join them? Ileana tucked her delicate hands into the flaps of my collar. Her eyes were rich brown, and her lips were kissable. That sounds righteous. Ileana smiled, and we walked to the back patio together. I spotted many guests enjoying themselves, drinking, dancing, and smoking strong cigars. The air was crisp, and I watched as the sand lightly swirled on the decorative concrete. I sat at the bar. I only had about $20 left for gas, and I wanted to hold on to it. But this looked fun, and since I would be stuck here, I ordered some beers. The bartender turned to me. A friendly-looking older black guy with a round face gave me a toothy grin as beads of sweat glistened on his brow. The name is Bruce, and your money's no good here. Put that away, son. I thought I heard the old man wrong. What, free drinks? Are you serious? As a heart attack. He chuckled. Hell, yes, I love this place. Yes, such a lovely place. He replied by handing me a cold brew. It was the best beer I've ever tasted. I sat back on the stool and watched the others enjoying themselves. I even got to try my first stinky cigar. The bartender and I became quick friends. He was hilariously entertaining. Ileana returned after attending to a few guests. We sat at a corner table, surrounded by the gentle glow of dimmed lights. The chemistry between Ileana and me was undeniable. We shared stories, laughter, and dreams, our connection deepening with each passing moment. Ileana's voice and Spanish accent were sweet. Her humor and vulnerability drew me in. During our animated conversation, Ileana's laughter rang out, and almost anyone within earshot would swear that we had known each other longer than just tonight. As the hours passed, we found ourselves engrossed in each other, our surroundings fading into the background. Ileana's beauty was undeniable, but it was her smartness, style, and the warmth of her personality that was irresistible. Let's dance. Come on. Ileana sprung up and pouted. I hurriedly finished my beer and joined Ileana, who gestured to me across the dance floor. Damn, she was so sexy. I could feel her petite body against mine, and her eye contact was off the charts. She was into me. Ileana leaned in and whispered in my ear. Don't leave me, Kevin. We can keep in touch, I promise. I'll only be 30 miles away. We can for sure go out. But I want you to stay here, silly, with me. I can't, gorgeous. I have to work, but like I said, I want to see you. I twirled Ileana. Her dress spun lightly around her body. We were having so much fun, and I was stoked about how fast this gorgeous woman was falling for me. I didn't care if she was older. I would love her forever. I spun her again, and she leaned in, and then it happened. She kissed me right there on the freaking dance floor. If Kim and Sharon could only see me now, those bitches would die. Compared to Ileana, they were totally heinous. I was taken aback as the guests cheered. If this girl isn't careful, I will fall in love with her tonight. She motioned for us to leave the dance floor, grabbing my hand firmly as we made our way through the scattered guests. Ileana led me upstairs, where the rooms were, and unlocked the door. She touched my face and reached under my shirt. My stomach quivered. Okay, Kev, be calm and don't spaz, you idiot. Careful. That's my spot. Shoo, she put her slender fingers over my lips. I loosened Ileana's jet black hair. It flowed in waves down her back. Her warm brown complexion and espresso eyes sparkled with the moonlight from the window. She looked curious with a hint of mystery. My eyes widened as she took off her dress. She pressed her bare breasts against my chest. The soft sounds of music and the hum of conversations echoed from the patio. I closed my eyes to drown them out and focus on this stunning woman. That night was incredible. However, we were damp and sticky, but it was nice to have her in my arms. My right arm was going numb, but I didn't fucking care. I could have it amputated if it meant staying here a bit longer. I found myself reminiscing about the night and practically drowning in the light smell of her coconut shampoo. My thoughts became destructive. She was this amazing girl, but my anxiety revved up when I thought about leaving her in the morning. I pushed the nervous feelings down and enjoyed the moment. The next morning, I woke up with the gross taste of bitter beer in my mouth. This is going to be the worst case of morning breath ever. I clumsily rolled over, surprised she wasn't lying next to me. I shrugged it off, assuming she had to help the lodgers. I sat up and lazily pulled up my underwear and jeans in one clean swoop. I glanced at myself in the mirror. Damn it. I just realized I left my belongings in the car. I headed downstairs. No one was around, and it was oddly quiet. I checked my watch but noticed the battery must have died because it said 8:15 p.m. when I arrived here the night before. Ileana? Ileana. No answer. I went out to my car. The temperature was frigid. I grabbed my bag and booked it back inside. The silence was almost deafening this time. Devoid of any sound. I checked my hearing to see if I was losing it. I spoke and panicked because I couldn't hear my own voice. Hello, hello, hello. What's happening? I kept trying, but I couldn't hear shit. I roamed the hallway, looking around. I went upstairs and banged on the doors, nothing, fucking no one. Why can't I hear anything? Frustrated, I started kicking the doors. No one came out. I continued through the hotel. It was soon spread out like a maze of doors. The hallway was longer than before. It was frustrating. I began to wonder if someone slipped something into my drink. Was I drugged? What the hell is happening to me? I fought to keep my balance as the hallway shifted and buckled. The nauseating spinning and movement. Even with my eyes closed and trying to brace myself against the wall, it wasn't helping the out-of-control feeling I had. Is this what death feels like? I don't want to go, not like this. Soon, I felt a hand on my shoulder. I immediately knew it was my girl. I calmed down and caught my breath. Hi, what are you doing, Kevin? Hey, I must have drunk way too much last night. I feel like shit. Maybe. What time is it anyway? It's just a little after 7 a.m. Crap, I need to get changed. I gotta get going for my interview at 10 o'clock. She kissed me on the cheek and winked. Alright, I'm sure I'll see you later. That would be great. See you, Ileana. I headed back to the room, showered, and changed. I looked like a total dweeb in khaki pants, striped button-up, and loafers. I put on one of my dad's old blazers. Christ, I looked so much like the old man that it made me sick. I ran a comb through my messy sandy blonde hair and ignored the reddish spot from a popped pimple forming in the middle of my forehead. I tossed my stuff in the bag and headed to the lobby. I hoped to say goodbye to Ileana, but she was again nowhere to be found. I went into the office to check if the phone was back on. Before I could dial, I heard a message, "Welcome to the Hotel California." Such a lovely place. I pushed down the receiver and tried to dial. It rang, thank God. Uncle Rick, it's me, Kev. I'm at the Hotel California. I need a ride. The address is, hello, Uncle Rick. Can you hear me? The crackling of static echoed on the phone. Hello, can you hear me? Uncle Rick? Shit. It was no use. The connection was bad. I needed to get a ride quickly. I rushed out front and threw my duffel bag in the trunk. I hurried through the parking lot and sprinted to the road. When I got to the edge of the parking lot, wham! It felt like I ran into a wall. I immediately got knocked on my ass. What the fuck? I got up and brushed myself off. I stood up, thinking that I had tripped. I walked forward again, and something was there, not letting me get to the road. Dude, get a hold of yourself. Stop fucking spazzing, man. I lurched forward. Something massive and solid awaited me. I pushed my hands against it and traversed the lot. What the fuck? What is this? The mass had an iridescent shimmer. It was solid to the touch. I could see the road and cars passing by. I banged on it, yelling and cursing wildly. I must be high as shit because this can't be happening. I spun around and headed inside. I rang the bell. Ileana. Ileana? No one, where is she? The silence came back and that dizzying feeling. This time it was as if the air was being sucked out of the room. The pressure, I can't stand up. I tried to force my body to be strong and withstand it, but I was afraid all my bones would shatter. I had no choice but to lay down on my stomach. My defiant mouth formed more words, but they were garbled and incoherent. I could hear myself now, but it sounded like my voice was a distant echo in my throat. The compression pushed the air from my lungs. I could feel myself fading. Kevin? Kevin, wake up? I came to, and Ileana and some of the hotel guests were standing over me. What happened? You fainted. Could be the heat. Ileana said. Are you okay? You had quite a spill. Bruce chimed. I got up and looked at their faces. Something was off, I just couldn't put my finger on it. I gotta go. I'm going to be late. Ileana tugged at my shirt. You can't leave. What? I laughed it off. I got up and headed back outside. The shimmering wall was there, and I punched and pushed at it with all I had. Panting excessively, I ran back inside. What's happening? What is this? Is this some type of joke? It's not, Kevin. It's very real. Okay, someone explain to me what the fuck is going on. The boy might need to sit down for this one, Bruce said with an awkward grin. What is he talking about? Sit down for what? Ileana touched my arm. Her concerned eyes fixed on me. This place collects souls. Some good ones and some bad ones. We, just like you, ended up here. It's like a vortex. People get in and can't get out. I've been here for probably 20 years. It's the same. People come, and they don't leave. This doesn't make any sense. How old are you? 66. I could be older, but I don't keep track anymore. You're crazy. You guys are out of your gourds. You guys are out of your fucking minds. I inched away. Their eyes, now creepily glowing in the dim light. What are you, people? This isn't real. Kevin, you either accept what happened and live peacefully with us, or you die screaming. I would play along if I were you. Bruce cautioned. Ileana, what the fuck is he saying? She was quiet. Her eyes welled up with tears. Ileana, answer me. What is he talking about? I can't accept this. This whole thing is nonsense. I can't be trapped here. I gotta go. Kevin, you must stop talking. Calm down and play along. There are bad things here, and if you get out of line, they come out. Be quiet, Kevin. I can't hold it back. This is fucking stupid. You people are crazy. This is goddamn bananas. Kevin, you have to be quiet. No, I am not accepting this. There has to be some way out. You have to try. Ileana grabbed my arm. Her red-colored nails rested on my skin. Shut up, Kevin. Shoo, the other guests warned. Ileana squeezed my arm harder, her nails now digging into my forearm. Let go, that fucking hurts. All you had to do was play along. That's all you had to do, and you could have me forever. Forever, Kevin. Ileana, please let go of my arm. Her grip intensified. I tried to wiggle loose. Let me go, we can leave together, okay? Just let go of me. Her grasp tightened around my forearm like a python. What the fuck? Let me go. Let me the fuck go. I told you not to leave me, Kevin. Ileana's voice deepened. The demonic tones scared me shitless. She tilted slightly and pulled a thick layer of skin from her face. The bloodied mess pulsated, spewing chunky skin pieces and blood. She was a nightmare, a visceral plunge into the darkest recesses of horror. I watched, paralyzed with fear, as an eerie transformation unfolded. Ah! My body trembled in the dim, flickering light of an abandoned, decaying building. Other figures shrouded in shadow emerged. Their faces were hidden beneath the darkness. As they continued to approach, I could now see them. Their features are twisted and grotesque, like a macabre work of art crafted by a sadistic, deranged artist. Carved up, bloodied flesh hanging, gnarled fingers now ripping at me. My voice, oh Christ, what happened to my voice? I screamed in my head, watching them as they all came to devour me. The voracious guests clawed at their masks. With an agonizingly slow and deliberate motion, the figures began to peel away the mask to reveal their true faces. Their dangling faces clung to the skin with a sickening, wet sound, as if it were a part of the person, an integral and inextricable component. As the edges of the mask were teased away, what lay beneath defied all sense and reason. The facial tissue was now seeping muscle. The eyes were hollow, empty, cold. The skin was pallid and marred with unnatural scars and blemishes as if subjected to unspeakable tortures. The mouth was an agonizing rictus, frozen in an eternal scream of torment. I couldn't fight. My body was rigid. I convulsed as they continued to tear into me. My bones and cartilage distantly crunched and snapped in my head. I could feel the air leaking from my chest as it was cracked, opened, and torn apart. I could not look away, and the room began to warp and distort around me as I felt my soul detaching from my body. My voice soon echoed, "Help me." In a secluded, unknown desert town sheltered among the arid landscape, many stranded drivers have fallen prey to the elusive urban legend of the establishment known as the Hotel California. This ominous building, cloaked in an aura of mystery, had long been a source of bewilderment and fear for both the local residents and adventurers. The hotel is always the same, appearing as an oasis from the hot or frigid weather of the desert. Seemingly abandoned, with its faded signs standing tall, its windows unbroken, and the pristine gardens impeccably maintained. But the most baffling aspect was that those who entered the hotel seldom, if ever, emerged. The legend of Hotel California grew from the countless stories of people who had checked in but had mysteriously disappeared from the face of the earth, leaving behind nothing but unanswered questions and a lingering sense of dread. Local officials had long been aware of the bizarre occurrences associated with the Hotel California off Route 66, but their attempts to investigate were met with frustration and unease. The building was shrouded in an eerie silence, with its doors often locked and boarded up as if daring anyone to enter. Authorities who ventured inside claimed to find perfectly appointed rooms and hallways but no signs of staff or guests. Surveillance cameras installed in the lobby showed only empty chairs and a dusty, abandoned front desk. The few brave souls who dared to visit the Hotel California shared similar stories. They described a beguiling ambience, with softly played music and dimly lit corridors stretching into eternity. Even with cryptic advice and words of warning, some fall victim to the hotel's allure. Those who tried to exit the hotel would find themselves back in their own room as if leaving was impossible. It was as if the Hotel California had a will of its own, ensnaring its occupants in an inescapable labyrinth. Panic and desperation would set in, and they would scream for help, banging on the doors and peering out of windows, but no one would hear their horrid cries. These mysterious disappearances sent shockwaves through Baker, which borders the Mojave Desert. The town has become a place to avoid at all costs. If you were to ask a resident about the Hotel California, you would immediately be met with hushed tones and warnings for newcomers to steer clear of the sinister establishment. Rumors pleasantly continue to circulate about dark rituals and supernatural forces that held the hotel guests captive, doomed to wander its endless hallways for all eternity. The legend of the Hotel California persists, a place where people check in, but they never, ever check out.